Welcome everyone to the City of Joliet Council meeting Tuesday, March 5th, 2024. This meeting will be directed by our Mayor, Terry Darcy. We will start with an invocation from Deacon Carl Uberner from the Cathedral St. Raymond's, Joliet, Illinois, and he will then lead us in the pledge.
This is a reading from St. Paul's letter to the Ephesians. God our Father, you conquer the darkness of ignorance by the light of your word. Strengthen within our hearts the faith you have given us. Let not temptation ever quench the fire that your love has enkindled within us. And let us pray. Father God, bless these members of the City Council. May all of their decisions be just and fair. Protect, Lord, those who protect us. Our country's military personnel, our police officers, firefighters, and all first responders. We pray for peace in the world, Lord. Peace in our country. Peace and love in our families. Amen. Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Darcy.
Here.
Councilman Cardenas.
Here.
Councilman Clement.
Here.
Councilman Guerrero.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
Here.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Here.
Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
First on the agenda this evening is a proclamation honoring Joliet West High School girls bowling team, IHSA state champions.
Girls, come on. I wore this shirt just for you. I think it looks like a tiger for a tiger. Happy here and 6 over here, okay? Very proud of you girls. Come on here. Some, we get everybody? Okay, all right. Set it right here. Turn it around. There we are. Just stand off to the side. All right. Are we good to go? Okay, so here we are, proclamation. Whereas the Joliet West High School girls bowling team won the IHSA Girls Bowling State Championship on Saturday, February 17th, 2024 at Cherry Bowl in Rockford. And the team was also back-to-back with IHSA sectional champions, IHSA regional champions, and SPC all-conference champions. Whereas the success of the Joliet West girls bowling team is due to a great effort put forth by the team members who committed themselves to producing their best effort for Joliet West High School, and also due to the dedicated leadership of head coach John Lizio and assistant coach Hannah Yaros. And the Joliet West girls bowling team consists of 8 outstanding team members. As I call your name, please raise your hand. Gracie French, Ella Steinke, Elizabeth Voss, Mia Antimez, Marjorie Berry, Samantha French, Emily Michon, and Gianna Mendoza. Did I get it all right? Okay. So we congratulate Ella Steinke for placing 4th IHSA Girls Bowling State Finals at the individual level. And we also congratulate Mia Antimez for placing 5th at the IHSA Girls Bowling State Finals at the individual level. Whereas the Joliet West team rolled, wait for it, a 12,223 total to win. Amazing. Now therefore, I, Terry Darcy, Mayor of the City of Joliet, Illinois, on behalf of the Joliet City Council, do hereby recognize the Joliet West High School Girls Bowling Team on their outstanding season and congratulate the team and coaches on winning the Illinois High School Association Girls Bowling State Championship. And it's signed Mayor Terry Darcy, March 5th, 2024. Congratulations, everybody. You're welcome. And the proclamation goes to, and the award goes to. All right, and this is their wonderful trophy. Oh, it's amazing. Girls on the bowling team, I'm telling you, I was so excited when I read that. I'm like, you've got to come to the call. Did we miss somebody? Anybody else? We're good? That's it? Okay, so do you like to come up here with the council? We'll take a picture.
Say something.
Get in the newspaper.
Oh, do they want to say anything?
Did you want to say
My
something?
pleasure.
Or no?
My pleasure.
Jan,
Yes.
would they like to say something, or the coach?
I thought after the picture, but we'll do that. Krista, could you do it again? I wasn't in it. Thank you.
Our head coach here gave me the honors. I'm the athletic director, Steve Millsaps. I would just like to thank the city council, Mayor Darcy, for this great honor. One of the things we pride ourselves at Joliet West is to be a staple of the community, and what these young ladies were able to do, following up last year's runner-up finish, coming back with all the pressure, would represent this city to the way it should be. We say Tiger Pride a lot at Joliet West, but that just means connecting with our community. So being here today, showing what these young ladies did and what they're continuing to do. Like I said in our talk when we had our assembly, we are a bowling school. We will continue to be, and hope to see you again next year. Thank you guys.
Next is a proclamation declaring March as Athletic Training Month.
All right, we have the proclamation here, whereas the Illinois Athletic Trainers Association was founded in 1982 as an organization committed to the education of its members and the enhancement of the profession of athletic training, creating better health care for the population it serves. And whereas athletic trainers from professional, collegiate, and high school teams, industries, physician offices, rehabilitation clinics, and every branch of the United States military work together to promote and practice the profession of athletic training within the state of Illinois. And whereas athletic trainers have a long history of providing quality health care for patients of all ages and persons engaged in regular physical activity, and whereas athletic trainers are highly skilled healthcare professionals who specialize in immediate, acute, and emergency care, examination, assessment, and diagnosis, injury prevention, risk management, therapeutic intervention, and rehabilitation of injury and illness. And whereas leading organizations concerned with athletic training and healthcare have united in a common commitment to raise public awareness of the importance of the profession of athletic training and the role of athletic trainers
in the provision of quality healthcare services. And whereas the city of Joliet desires to promote improved healthcare for athletes and all those who engage in physical activity. Now therefore, I, Terry Darcy, Mayor of the City of Joliet, Illinois, on behalf of the Joliet City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of March as Athletic Training Month and call upon residents of Joliet to recognize athletic trainers for their honorable work in keeping the community healthy. Congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for this on behalf of the Illinois Athletic Trainers Association and athletic trainers all over the state, and most specifically through Joliet, specifically Joliet West High School, Joliet Central High School, Joliet Catholic, all those, you know, when you go out to watch the bowling, I'm sure at some point there's an athletic trainer there. I'm sure those girls saw an athletic trainer. You know, we're on the sidelines every Friday night, in the gyms, at the basketball tournaments and at the wrestling tournaments. Hopefully you don't see us because that means everyone's healthy. So when you do, you know, just know that we're there to watch out for you guys, and we appreciate this this honor. So thank you so much, everyone.
Next is a proclamation declaring March as Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. Coming up with me. Hi. Anybody else?
Okay. So this is a proclamation, whereas colorectal cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in the United States among men and women combined, and whereas colorectal cancer is one of the few cancers that can be prevented with timely screening, but 1 in 3 eligible Americans are not up to date on screening, and whereas colorectal cancer is estimated to by the number one cancer killer for those aged 20 to 49 by the year 2030. And whereas Black Americans are 20% more likely to be diagnosed with colorectal cancer and about 40% more likely to die from this disease than other groups. And whereas colorectal cancer is expected to account for 11% of cancer deaths among Hispanic men and 9% of cancer deaths among Hispanic women. And whereas in 2023, there were approximately 153,020 new cases and 52,550 deaths from colorectal cancer. And whereas the national goal established by the National Colorectal Cancer Roundtable is to strive to increase timely colorectal screening rates to about 80% in every community for all Americans eligible for screening. And whereas observing a colorectal cancer awareness month during the month of March would provide a special opportunity to increase awareness and offer education on the importance of early detection and screenings of colorectal cancer. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Terry Darcy, City of Joliet, Illinois, on behalf of the entire City Council, would like to hereby proclaim March 2024 as Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month.
I will. Thank you very much. Thank you, Councilwoman. I really appreciate that, those kind words. My brother doesn't know it. He's my younger brother. He wants me to call him Professor now, but I guess I'm going to call the Professor up as well. I would love for him to also hold up this other proclamation that I received from the state of Illinois. So if you want to stand, I need you to hold this. So as I look around, I see some familiar faces because I was, of course, a former employee for the city of Joliet for almost 14 years. And not only that, I'm a Navy veteran and a 3-time cancer survivor.
For your service.
The organizations I represent today are Fight CRC and Force, which is Facing Our Risk of Cancer Empowered. And as you mentioned, Councilwoman, March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. And I'd like to thank you, the mayor, and the City Council for passing this proclamation recognizing colorectal cancer awareness. You are not alone in fulfilling this proclamation request, as Governor Pritzker has also signed the proclamation for the state of Illinois and recognizing March as colorectal cancer awareness as well. Now, I'd like to share with you a few additional facts that was mentioned also in the proclamation, but I want to say them again for reinforcement about this deadly disease, that by 2030, and that's in approximately 6 years, the incidence of early age onset colorectal cancer is predicted to increase by more than 140%. This is early age onset colorectal cancer. That means people under the age of 45. And meaning more than 27,000 people under age 50 will be diagnosed with colorectal cancer, making it the leading cause of cancer-related deaths for that age group. Regular screening beginning at age 45 is the key to preventing colorectal cancer. And if you are between the ages of 45 and 75, get screened regularly. If you are younger than 45 and think you may be at high risk for colorectal cancer, or if you're older than 75, talk to your doctor about screening. I wish I had been provided that knowledge 13 years ago. That way I would not have had to wake up from surgery and be told that I had stage 3B colorectal cancer. And I'm still here today, but the reason that I'm here is to bring awareness because I had colorectal cancer sitting in my body for 15 years. So that's a wake-up call. So my message is that knowledge is power, and educating yourself enough through awareness campaigns like this can save lives. And then there's, of course, almost one other thing I'd like to share that's in my cell phone. And it's a quick, if I can share real quick, a text message that I can't seem to quite get rid of. It's from my younger brother, and just showing it here. It's gone. And it's just messages that you basically, send back and forth to your family. How are you doing? How's your day been? Love you, so forth. Well, that was August 9th, 2022. 53 days later, he passed away from metastatic colorectal cancer at the age of 47. So again, thanking you for taking time out of your day to make this proclamation an important one, and hope again that this can be a life-saving message for those who are listening. Thank you again.
Thank you. Come up for a picture. Do you want to come up for a picture with us? Sure. Come on. I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry for your loss. Good to see you. I didn't recognize you right away.
Just have her go up there. Next is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So moved.
Okay.
Been motion seconded to approve. Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried.
You were right the first.
Citizens to be heard on agenda items. I will call the first three names. If you could line up in the center of the aisle and come up one at a time. Rick Rottweiler, Angela Farley, and Mike Cook.
Hello, my name is Rick Rottweiler. I'm here representing U-Haul for our proposed project at 4200 West Jefferson Street. That's on the agenda tonight. We are Excited at the opportunity to revitalize the property at 4200 West Jefferson, which you know is currently home to a motel and bar/restaurant that's in much need of repair. Ours is a need-based business that serves the do-it-yourself moving public. We are prepared to invest somewhere in the neighborhood of $20 million in order to complete our vision here to help serve the community of Joliet. The use will serve everyone that is moving into and out of Joliet. And just, you know, we've been working on this project for about the better part of a year and a half to get to this point. So again, we're excited to bring new development and provide a much needed product service to the community of Joliet, spur a little bit of economic development here as well, and revitalize this existing property that is in much need of something new.
Good evening. My name is Angela Farley. I'm the marketing company president for the Chicago Western Suburbs for U-Haul. I handle everything in the western suburbs, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have tonight regarding our project at 4200 West Jefferson. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and the members of the City Council. My name is Mike Cook. I'm with Cook Engineering Group. I am the site civil engineer and land development consultant on behalf of U-Haul. We were involved in the project from the beginning as part of the land component, looking at and evaluating the site. We had worked diligently with the seller's engineer in regards to some of the mapping issues that we kind of ran into with regards to FEMA. We had coordinated some back and forth with the FAA as it related to building elevation, locations, and elevations to garner their approvals as well. We've also had some other site constraints that we've kind of worked through, or will be working through as part of the permitting process with the Army Corps of Engineers as it relates to wetlands and other design components. Our job, obviously, moving forward would be then to obviously prepare sets of permit documents that we would work with members of staff to gain approvals for construction. I'm here as well to answer any questions that you may have later tonight. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Bill Caton. I wanted to come forward today and talk a little bit about some issues that were brought up yesterday at the pre-council meeting. The first thing is the site. You've heard already some information about the condition of the site, but when we look at this location, it is a dead zone, and that's not a play on words because across the street is, of course, a cemetery, which gives no synergy to anybody coming to this property. Besides that, from there to Essington, there's no synergy for any type of retail or upscale marketing in that area. The second thing that, you know, it sells property is price. Okay, the price tag on this property, because of the entry level of the owners, is, you know, just around $3 million. So that eliminated a lot of people. The condition, you've heard already about that. The last thing was marketing. We put on for about 2 years a national marketing campaign. This is why you have a national tenant here, or national buyer here at the table. Who else did we look at that time? During the 2+ years that I marketed this, we had dozens of truckers that wanted to park their trucks there and do mechanical work. That was a non-starter in talking with Jim Torrey and your staff. Did have a truck stop that looked at it, but because it was mid-block, no light there, that didn't work for them. And once they started looking at the problems on the site, they abandoned it very quickly also. They were willing to write the check, but they weren't willing to go through the process. So beyond that, we had multiple buyers that wanted to take it over as a hotel and bar, all right? Anywhere from one gentleman wanted to use it as a kind of a halfway house to bring people in that were homeless and, you know, get them established and find jobs and move them forward. Unfortunately, he was more of a charity case. He didn't have the money in order to do that. Several other hotel users and bar users were primarily interested till they got there and saw the condition of the buildings. When they looked at the $3 million price tag and well over $2 million to bring those buildings back into some kind of living, the numbers just didn't work, right, in that situation. So when you look at that and the competition in the area, I mean, we're looking at a massive retail site, okay, at I-80 and I-55. That is sucking away any potential people that might want to come into this corridor, even though there's not any kind of synergy in that corridor. So what is this best suited for? It's best suited for a vehicular destination site, and that's your buyer. Your buyer has been very patient and also very tenacious in pursuing the site. All right, I mentioned the other day that there was 13 different extensions over a 1.5-year period of time. They spent a lot of money, okay, already on this site. And the site, you know, didn't always was, you know, perfect. There was something that needed to be adjusted, but they've made it work. And they have the opportunity of taking a fatigued property and bringing it back to life, bringing it back into the property tax rolls, and creating a very viable business for the citizens of Joliet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike Sales, Mukesh Desai, and Paul Palmer. If you could line up in the center aisle, please.
My name is Mike Sales. I'm a pilot, and I keep my plane and fly out of Joliet. We're not opposed to the building of the U-Haul storage place. The problem is it's 3 stories tall. You were told that they have FAA approval, which I have a son that's a liaison for the Department of Aviation with the FAA. They do not have FAA approval because FAA does not give approval. What they have is a report that says that they will not interfere with our flight path by 2 feet. Now, I'm a good pilot, and all the other pilots that are here are good pilots. We're not 2 feet good. And as soon as somebody puts up an antenna or an air conditioner or a duct, that 2 feet is infringed on. My life is a little more important, worth a little more than that. That's about all I have. Oh, thank you.
Mukesh Desai.
I'm the current owner of the 4200 West. We have gone through a lot of hurdles over 1.5 years. The airport is there for 90 years. Our building has been there for 70 years. And the new proposed building is similar in dimension and has been looked at by FAA, and this Park District kept on coming with different goalposts. In the beginning, they came up with height, then that was solved. They said height is okay. Now they say the RPZ zone, which is also has been, there is an attachment here with the aviation company letter. That has been also been solved. So I do not know if, and yesterday I had heard, I was here, some conversation about economic development of Joliet. If you want to attract new businesses to the city, then these kind of hurdles will definitely discourage the new businesses to come in, because people are putting up their own money. It's money, okay? So it's not like we are here, it's hard-earned money, and we, for a very trivial matters, if people keep on coming with arguments, I request the council to reconsider and consider the fact that the new project is bringing in an economic development to the city, and that's very important. Thank you.
Paul Palmer. Go ahead.
Good evening, City Council members. My name is Raj. I am the attorney for the current owners, and I just want to speak briefly on response to the concern about the airport. We had met with the Park District quite some time ago, and they basically expressed the opinion that in the best world, they'd have no economic development in any of the surrounding lots, not just ours. The the fact of the matter is there is economic development, there is a building there. They showed a picture at the end of the runway. There's an existing gas station, tree lines, and then our building. And my understanding is the new building would be just below those tree lines. So that it's no different than what's the existing building already there. And as for the FAA report, I have both of them here. I think it's in your guys' packet too. And in big bold words, it says determination, no hazard to air navigation on both buildings, the three-story building and the one-story building. And the existing use would have more of a congregation on the floor level and the ground level than what a U-Haul storage business would have. There'd be less congregation there. It'd be safer for everybody on the ground. As for the issue about the pilots, as mentioned, there's already at the end of the runway a gas station, tree lines, and then our building. And if you saw the picture, you cannot even see the building behind the tree lines. So this is the proposed use is going to be a much better situation for not only for the airport, but more importantly for the city of Joliet. You know, we're hearing objections from pilots on a small percentage of the actual constituents of the city of Joliet, and the new use will be much better for the city. It'll be no more dangerous than existing use, and it's going to bring economic development into the city, and that's what we talked about yesterday. Is what the city's looking for, and this will achieve that. Thank you.
If there's anyone else that would like to speak on an agenda item, I ask you form a line in the center aisle, and once the line is exhausted, we'll move on to the next item.
Hello, Mayor, City Councilman. My name is Lawrence George. I am the president of Family Outreach Program, started in Will County in 1999. We have a food pantry, which 5 years after that, we have been serving the city of Joliet, Crest Hill, Plainfield, Romeoville, on a weekly basis, actually feeding hundreds of families for the past 15 years working with the Northern Illinois Food Bank. I haven't had a chance to speak to you. I usually, like last night, speak to the city of Crest Hill, who has helped us set up our drive-through food pantry, which fed hundreds of families, especially through the time of COVID, when many of the food pantries were not open. At this time, we just wanted to let you know that most of our clients are the city of Joliet. I deal with those people that sign in. I look at all their needs. They are under the poverty level, and now we're getting more and more people coming in from who knows where, whom we do not want to refuse. We have a website. It's familyoutreachprogram.org. We invite you to browse the website. We are in the process of purchasing a used refrigerated truck, and also we are hoping for a break on gas, as the Northern Illinois Food Bank has recently given us, with what we say being blessed, 30 stores to pick up food at throughout the greater Will County area and even in DuPage County, so that we could feed the multitudes. So we bring 3 trucks down to Hillcrest Shopping Center, the back parking lot. If anybody has ever seen that, we've been on the news. We used to have 6 lines of cars there. Now it's 2 lines going all the way across the Hillcrest Shopping Center to Theodore. Anyway, again, my name is Lawrence George. I'm happy to address the City Council and let you know who we are. We are here for you. We have lots of volunteers. We're happy to get more. And if there's anything we can do for you more than we already have, let us know. And again, we open our arms to anybody that wants to help. Also, we're very thankful for the Tag Day. Every year, we have a Tag Day in the city of Joliet to raise funds for our program, which we are thankful for. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mayor Darcy, council, staff, my name is Mike Kerwin. I live in Highland Park, Slant Pilcher Park, and I'm currently the chairman of the airport committee. You heard from one of our members, and all of them are advanced aviation people that have spent a long period of time, just like these folks have too, to research this project to see if it would fit in format. And I understand this is a very difficult decision for everybody because it would bring a lot of new income into the city. However, the gas station that the gentleman talked about, when it went in, we had to reduce the length of the runway. By doing that, many of our commercial business pilots with twin engine aircrafts could no longer use that runway because they couldn't accelerate and stop. So anyway, there will be ramifications from a 3-story building at the end of the runway. And it's normally the state of Illinois that comes in and says, well, no, now you're gonna have to reduce the runway again. We are trying to get monies to actually take care of that gas station, which is empty at the time. So anyway, I just ask that during the time period you have until this decision comes up to reflect, because we feel that commerce of the airport as well as the safety aspect is out there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no one else, we'll move on to council committee reports. First is Diversity and Community Relations Committee report.
The Diversity and Community Relations Committee met here in the council chambers. It was Tuesday, February 27th at 4:30. We had a very quick meeting, brief agenda, no actionable items, but other than the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting. But we did have some presentations from the DHS Employment and Rehabilitative Services. So the presentation covered essentially the topic of employment for residents of Illinois who are disabled and the many challenges that comes with. Primarily, that comes from a reluctance of disclosure, given that the state is typically self-reported. We discussed why that's the case, that many employees may not feel comfortable disclosing that information because of expected stigmas or differential treatment within the workplace. Some of the solutions that we discussed that are in place already from Workforce Center of Will County includes paid on-the-job training for employers who are willing to take on employees who may have a disability, assistance in making those reasonable accommodations. And so as federal guidelines dictate, employers cannot discriminate against a potential employee who can reasonably perform the roles and the requirements of the job, so long as there is some reasonable accommodation. And so the Workforce Center of Will County provides assistance to employers who may be wondering how exactly they implement those accommodations. There was a lot more to the presentation with kind of facts and figures about just how many employees there are in the state of Illinois who are experiencing, who have a disability. But we invited them to come back to give the presentation to the full council, so I'll try to keep it brief as they can explain it much better than I can. We also looked at the consideration of diversity, equity, and inclusion here at the city of Joliet as an employer. And so the question was sort of brought up of how well we are performing in that regard. And so while we didn't land on any actionable items at the time, something that we want to take into consideration and see what the sort of appetite is of the rest of the council, the mayor and city manager, of how we can self-reflect and sort of do an internal look at how well we are doing at diversity, equity, and inclusion as an employer. The question was brought up of whether we could bring on a full-time DEI officer, or whether we want to bring in somebody as a consultant to look at that first. But again, so we'll leave that that's a decision for the council to make as a whole. We also heard from Michelle Stiff, who reported to us from our school districts, and it's an ongoing issue that has been going on for some time, and is still very prevalent. It's the issue of vaping within schools. It's both nicotine and THC. There's a number of electronic vapes now that are passable as school supplies. They look like highlighters, they look like markers, and so it's really become quite the problem here in our school districts. We have taken the action here at the city council to we earlier, just a few months ago, passed an ordinance limiting the number of nicotine, tobacco, and vape shops that we would allow here in the city of Joliet. So we're hoping that as time goes on, that will take effect. But it's something that we're going to continue to monitor and continue to be in communication with the school districts to chart this problem and see how we can continue to respond and adapt to the situation. So if there's anything that's Councilwoman, would you like to add?
Just, if it's okay,
Sure.
that Michelle did let us know that the problem is getting somewhat better, but it needs to get a lot better. We're raising an addicted type generation in these high schools, so just that more needed to be done. And then I did the research on the DEI officers. We're in the top 4 cities, and we're the only city that doesn't have one, so we really should consider it. What degree we take that to, as far as just a contractor or a full-time employee, that is something for the entire council and that we'll have to discuss, but more definitely needs to be done with those vape shops. Thank you.
So that would be my report.
Thank you.
Public Safety Committee report.
Okay, public safety met here in council chambers at 6 o'clock. Present was Councilman Joe Clement, Councilwoman Sherry Reardon, and myself, Jan Quillman, as the chair. Also present were Deputy Chief Blackburn, Deputy Chief Botsman, Chief of the Fire Department, Carey, and Chief of Police, Bill Evans. First was the approval to purchase a linear light source for the evidence unit. This will be paid with Justice Assistance Grant, which is an intergovernmental agreement between the city and Will County. The city's allocation of this grant is $32,387, with the remainder balance being provided by technical services. This will assist the police department in assessing modern technology when responding to crime scenes. Next is the authorization to purchase 2 Polaris Crew XP units for the police department at a cost of $61,497.42. And this is to be used by special operations and officers working with special events, also giving Joliet Department of Police ability to navigate treacherous terrain in event of an untoward tragedy or, what do you want to call it, search or the performance of public safety. So that's excuse me, tongue-tied here with my notes. Anyway, it's funded by the revenue from the Polaris Vehicle Fund, and the lowest bid came in from Shorewood Home and Auto. They were the lowest bid, so we agreed to that. And the last one is the amendment to current sole source agreement with Blue Line Professional Consultants. And that is a recommendation per the Illinois House Bill 3653. It provides mental health screening services to all law enforcement personnel on an annual basis. And the police department requests that civilian staff, such as 911 communication dispatchers, FOIA analysts, and front desk personnel, be added to the current agreement. So the budget has been amended to that, and on all 3 of these, it was unanimous vote to present to the council probably at the next meeting. Last but not least, we had a resolution, and the resolution was to approve a community memorandum of agreement between the City of Joliet and the Will County Health Department regarding the integrated referral and intake system, also known as IRIS. And our chief of the fire department is going to come up and give a little brief synopsis of this. And this is going to be very good for all involved, not just first responders, but also personnel that are answering, those dispatchers are answering those calls.
Yeah, so we came upon the IRIS system working with the Will County Health Department. It came to our attention with the mental health program our mental health program's grown to a lot of communities outside of Joliet, and now they've got about 30 different phone numbers they're calling, so it's caused some confusion. So we were gonna use the IRIS system originally as an intake into the mental health program, because then everybody will be going through the same system. But when we registered to get on IRIS, we found out many other uses for it. So what it is, it's a Will County community for everybody from doctors, mental health professionals, housing professionals, that all register in the system. They have over 200 resources in there. And we can go on there and look at availability of what everybody has. So if somebody is looking for, housing, jobs, this and that, if somebody's in that system, you can go and see what the availability is, like how long it takes to get a mental health appointment, how long to a doctor appointment. So people can refer to us and we can refer out to them. So it's gonna have multiple uses for us. And the MOU just states that since we'll be dealing with patient information, that we can't share information with the public. It's kind of almost like a HIPAA agreement, so. But it's a great referral system that we'll be able to use to get people even our community care program to be referred to us, and then we can use it to refer people out. Any questions?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, any council members have anything to add to this? No. Okay, that concludes our report, Mayor.
Thank you.
Public Service Committee report.
Public service met here in the City Hall in the council chambers yesterday, March 4th at 4:30 in the afternoon. On the committee and in attendance was myself, Councilman Guerrero, and Councilman Mudrin. I'm going to be very brief on the agenda items. They were pretty routine because I'm going to bring Allison Swisher up, the Director of Public Utilities, to give a brief version of the presentation that was made yesterday concerning the 33 miles of new water main replacement next year and how people will be notified. So we looked through the items. The largest item on contracts we discussed yesterday and had a presentation was for the demolition of the Victory Center Gymnasium at $1.2 million. We looked through the other 5 contracts ranging from culvert improvement replacement to restocking, or I should say re-upping our contract with the electricians for the sewer and water facilities to take care of the electrical needs. We found them all to be in order and unanimously sent them forward to the council with the committee recommendation for approval. We had 2 pay estimates, change order pay estimates and final payments. One was a net deduction of $20,250 and a final payout of $102,574 for the Lawrence Avenue lift station rehabilitation. And we also looked at the parking facilities in the downtown area, the consulting agreement by expanding it by $10,000 to look further into the eliminating paid parking on street, as well as looking at all of our parking facilities one last time. We discussed that yesterday, and I think we all agree that this will be a good idea, and then we need to make decisions. So that's pretty much all we had. Other than the presentation that Allison's going to give in a moment here. Pat? Caesar, nothing?
I'll wait till Allison's done.
Okay. Allison, if you want to come up, this I think is going to be the most important part of what we did yesterday.
Great, thank you. Tonight we're going to talk about our 2024 water system rehabilitation program. As the weather's getting warmer, we all know that means it's time for construction season, and we definitely have a lot of construction that we will be performing this year. So just a quick overview. The map on this slide right now shows our 2024 to 2030 water main replacement program. So these are all the water mains that we are still planning to replace in the upcoming years. So over the past years, from 2017 to 2022, we've done a significant amount of work, spending almost $115 million on water main rehab, but there's still a lot of work to do. So our program goals and what we need to do to be successful, I know we've talked a lot about this at a council level. We're doing this work to reduce non-revenue water, which is the water that's lost through leaky pipes, and that's a requirement of our Lake Michigan allocation in order to get Lake Michigan water in 2030. Also, as part of the program, we will be replacing all of our lead water service lines. So it's a major accomplishment for the city to be able to do that by 2030. In order to be successful, we have to do a lot of planning and prioritizing. We definitely prioritize water mains where they have the most breaks and leaks. And we are able to do this through our funding strategy. We rely on low-interest loans from the state and federal government, and we have secured those to fund the program. We need to do a lot of resident communication. Making sure everyone is informed is vital to the program. And then we have to coordinate with all the other work that's going on in the city. We have the work the Public Works Department does with resurfacing the roads. We have the alternative water source program, improvements that IDOT is doing along the I-80 corridor, and then our sewer rehabilitation program. So we try and coordinate all of that so that we are being as efficient as possible and using our resources responsibly to get the work done. So specifically our 2024 program, this will be our largest program to date. We have 18 contracts, and that is almost 33 miles of water main at a cost of $85 million. So the different project areas are shown on the screen, and they're spread out throughout the older portions of town. This is the anticipated schedule. We do anticipate a number of the projects will be starting April 1st. I did speak with IEPA this morning. Our loans are on track, and we anticipate having those on the council agenda for the next meeting in March. Having that funding secured will allow for those April 1 start dates. As you see, come July and August, we will have almost every project under construction. So this doesn't only impact the residents who live in the areas directly impacted, but pretty much everyone who's going to try and drive around town is going to encounter one of these projects. So in order to try and alleviate some of the issues we've had in prior years, we have a new construction services approach for 2024. We have really ramped up the services of our consulting engineers doing the construction engineering from Burns and McDonald. They will have 3 resident engineers. One will be focused to different geographic areas. And on the slide, we have their direct contact information. So the best way for a resident to have any of their issues addressed is to reach out to them directly. And these gentlemen will be on the site every day and available to immediately respond. We really rely on the website heavily. This is something we implemented last year, joliet.gov/construction-zone. We do weekly updates on this website, and it provides information such as the construction status, the contact information, the contractor, and the general schedule. So we really rely on this website to provide information to residents. So if a resident's looking for information on how they can get assistance, we would like them to go to the website to get that information. We did last week send out the initial letters. So the letters went out to every property owner within the project areas. They were sent out in English and Spanish and provided information on the project, and also provided that contact information for the resident engineer who will be responsible for their project area. We are also hosting an open house next Wednesday. It will be held at our Eastside Wastewater Treatment Plant Administration Building, and there we have general information provided about each project, and residents are welcome to come and look at the plans and see more information how they will be impacted. We also work with the local neighborhood groups to attend their meetings and really generally try and get information out more widely. As the last part of our communication plan, we use a series of door hangers. So if a resident didn't get the letter, didn't see the open house, we do put a door tag on each home at different phases of the construction. So we have them handed out before work starts, before any water outage may occur, and then at the end of the project, an idea of when the landscape restoration might occur. So it's an overview of our program. It's going to be a huge endeavor. We know there's going to be a lot of issues that arise, but we do ask for everyone's patience as we complete these really important projects, and we hope that our enhanced construction services plan can alleviate a lot of the residents' concerns.
Thank you, Allison. I had a couple of quick questions. I didn't ask yesterday. Is there any kind of a text notification system that we can head towards on this?
Yeah, so we can use the Everbridge system to provide that information. but then that relies on those residents who have signed up to receive those alerts.
And that segues perfectly. I was sitting in the parking lot smoking my cigar this afternoon, and I got an automated from the Forest Preserve. The Theodore Marsh is going to be doing a burn tomorrow on the entire marsh, and that creates a lot of smoke. And I don't remember when I signed up for this, but apparently I did. So I encourage all residents to go. Well, how would they sign up for Everbridge? Who can? Do you know?
You can go to the website, and there's a link there where you can add email or cell phone, and then you can select if you want to get email or text notifications.
So we will be utilizing that in this project between now and 2030. So I encourage all residents to sign up for that. Chris Sternal, can we put an obvious link on the homepage where they land to the construction, forward/construction that you was discussing, so it's obvious to somebody that lands on there, they can, we have certain things you can link right to, right?
Yes.
Can we do that as well as to signing up for the, what do you call it?
Everbridge?
Everbridge. Can we do that?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you very much. I just think that would be a great idea. So, citizens go to the homepage. That's important for them to see, especially over the next 7 years.
Yeah, and especially we are expanding that online map to be just not utilities projects, but also include public works projects and other projects going on in the city. So it really will be a one-stop shop to get all information about all projects going on within the city.
And maybe, Chris, we could title it "Construction in Your Neighborhood," something like that, so people know that if they want to see what's going on in their neighborhood and between water and sewer, and eventually even with public works, I would appreciate that. I think if we can add that.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. That's all I had. You had something.
I would just add that, we can't understate the importance and severity of these projects that we're taking on. When it comes before us at the council and we're spending many millions at a time to replace these water mains to make sure that this project is on track. I was just reading through some news articles this morning, and I follow Ground News, which kind of aggregates different news sources and puts them together based on the same sort of coverage. 21 different stories covering effectively the same headline. I'll read this one here from the Associated Press. Trillions of gallons leak from aging drinking water systems, further stressing shrinking U.S. cities. That's trillions with a T. So, this is an issue that's happening in different cities across the country. And I think it highlights just how important it is to make sure that we're on task, that we're on time with this project. There's maybe no more basic function and responsibility that a city can undertake than to provide clean water for the residents, right? It's clean water, police, fire, roads. I think those are the things that we can all agree on that the city needs to get done. A few highlights from the article here, if I may. Pritchard, Alabama loses more than half, sometimes over 60% of their drinking water. Jackson, Mississippi, an estimated 65% of its water, including millions of gallons that had been gushing from broken pipes for years, turning some areas into wetlands. Here we go. In the Detroit enclave of Highland Park, where the population halved in the past 20 years and is 83% smaller than its 1930s heyday, an estimated 70% of the water is lost from pipes that are up to 120 years old. Several Chicago suburbs likely are losing more than 40% of water, and some Georgia systems are losing more than 80% of their treated drinking water, said Sunil Sinha, a water researcher at Virginia Tech. And so, when we get these reports that we're looking at the city of Joliet potentially losing up to 30% of their drinking water in transit, I was shocked when I first got those numbers, but to see that there are cities across the country that are losing more than half, up to 70%, 80% of their drinking water, we should consider ourselves lucky that we're not in a much worse situation than we are. And so I want to take a moment to thank Allison and all of her staff that have been, working tirelessly on this effort. So thank you.
Thank you.
And Allison, on that subject, just maybe a month ago, we had talked about, I think we've already approved the expenditure. We're taking it up a notch on locating it because we're not bringing down that 30% as quickly as we'd like. And we're being proactive. You and your staff are being proactive.
That's correct.
Can you briefly describe what that is?
Yes, so we have remained at about 30% water loss in spite of the efforts that I mentioned, today. We are also engaging in our water main replacement program and other efforts, but we really need to start getting a fresh look, thinking outside the box, and really start using a lot of the technologies that are available to really identify and prioritize where we are focusing our financial resources. So we have issued a request for qualifications to seek out firms that specialize in this type of work. And so we actually have interviews scheduled this month, and so we'll be bringing that to the council for consideration to bring on a firm to specifically help us with a lot.
These are kind of next level specialties
Next level,
too.
yes.
I think in your presentation, I think Georgia or Atlanta was mentioned that they had solved some problems, some massive problems like the councilman's referring to,
Yeah.
some of these firms, and that's what we're looking to do here.
correct.
Even though we're not anywhere near 70%, thank God, we're at 30% and it's old. And I wanted to clarify one thing, Allison, you had said that by 2030 we'll have removed all the lead service lines. And we know what that means up here because we've heard it again and again. I'm going to clarify for people watching. Joliet has never had any of its water transmission lines lead. What Allison's referring to is pre-1970, people, when they had their house hooked into the main, were allowed to put lead service lines in. So now as we go through and replace these hundreds of miles of water, pre-1970 water pipes, the service lines are being replaced, and it's being done essentially through something that's a grant from the federal government, federal EPA. It's a forgivable loan. You take the loan out, and if you spend it on remediating lead, then you don't have to pay it back. That's a grant. So I wanted to clarify that so people don't think that we have any double talk. We don't have lead. We do it. Any lead in the system that ever existed and still exists is privately owned service lines, and we're being proactive in helping to eliminate that completely by 2030, and have eliminated quite a bit already, correct?
Yes, and Joliet's one of the most proactive communities in Illinois in addressing lead. So I think we should all be very proud of that.
And anybody post 1970, you weren't allowed to put lead service lines in, so you're okay, So it's mainly copper, correct?
Yeah, copper, yes. And anyone who has concerns about their service line should call the utilities department. We do offer free inspections and also free water sampling.
There you go. So, Councilman Mudrin, did you have anything, or did we cover it? We're good? Councilman Durrell? All right. Mayor, does anybody else have any questions? Because I'm done with my report.
Thank you. Yeah, Joe.
Allison, can you talk briefly on the water meter replacement? We signed up for it, they came by, it was painless.
Yes.
They did a great job. Can you talk about where we're at with that program and how many?
Yeah, so in total, over 2 years, we're planning to replace over 10,000 meters. And these meters were selected through a testing program that we conducted a few years ago to identify those models of meters that were most under-reporting. And so we have, sent out lots of letters to residents to have those meters replaced. It's a painless process, takes about a half hour. And so we are planning to be finished with that around this summer. So I think to date, we've done, almost 6,000 meters.
Do you think replacing those will bring down the 30%?
Yes, we are exploring all of the options. We do know that that is a component of the water loss, is when you're, the water that's being sent to a home isn't being billed accurately. So it's, I do think we're doing all the right things. We just have not yet seen the results of that yet, because I think it does take a mass amount before you can realize those improvements. So I'm hoping next year we can report a decrease in our water loss.
And Councilman, one thing I'll tell you, we talked about this in the committee level too. GIS is something relatively new. So we may have old service lines that we ultimately refine, that's where we're going to the next level, that are no longer servicing anything. We had a house that had water coming out of its basement windows and nobody noticed it until the city found out about it. So that's why we're going to the next level. GIS, our system, our brand new system, is completely mapped. Great effort on our department, and we're mapping the old system, but we could have a pipe somewhere that is, remember the bridge to nowhere? Well, the pipe to nowhere, and it might be leaking some things, of that nature. The other thing I would add, everybody needs to sign up. I think Kevin Singh can attest to this. I called Kevin last week, as my wife said, Larry, why is our water bill gone from 140 to 190? So, anecdotal story, I called Kevin, I said, Kevin, what can we do here? We have a system, a portal you can sign up for. Make a long story short, as we look through my water history, he said, who got up at 3:30 in the morning and flushed the toilet? I said, what? It tracks you hour by hour. You can see real use of your own water, right down to flushing a toilet with 2 or 3 gallons of water. And I told him, I am 60, so that probably was me. Okay? So, but, and I was also concerned. I'm like, do we have a leak? Maybe not a massive. Nope, because the system shows absolutely no activity for 3, 4, 6 hours, and then you'll see a spike. And we saw some strange spikes, which may ultimately be explained by some kind of strange behavior that my family is engaged in that I'm not aware of yet. But how do we sign up for that portal? Who can tell us that?
Yeah, this is a great service we offer to all the residents at no cost. It's our water customer portal. You can go onto the website again and find information on how to sign up. There's even a video that you can watch that steps you through the process. And as you said, it provides real-time information in hourly intervals about your water use. So if you want to find out if your teenager is taking an hour-long shower, you can go there and track that. You can also set alerts. So if you want to, have a threshold that you set, you can do that, and then it'll send you an alert to let you know that you've reached that threshold.
Well, and even if, let's say you have a house with a crawl space, and oftentimes people over the years gone by, will have a leak in a crawl space that's moderate to minor, but it can add up, right? Mm-hmm. This will show you. I mean, once I saw this system, I said, well, I need to sign up, and that's what I'm doing. You can really get the load off your mind by looking at this and saying, no, if you have a leak, there'll be activity at the lowest level on the bar graphs the entire time. A leak doesn't stop. So right away, you can eliminate that you've got a continuous leak if you don't see continuous activity, and you can narrow down, is it any of the parts, components of my toilet, are they leaking? You can have silent leaks with the plungers in the toilets. I've learned a lot, and I think so have you, Kevin, more than we wanted to about toilets and water, but this is a great system to sign up for because it can help you with your budget, and it can also help you kind of, assess and predict if you've got any leaks in your piping in older houses that might need to be addressed.
Yeah, we always say the best way to control, reduce your water bill is to look at that portal and see where potentially you might have leaks that you're ultimately paying for wasted water.
And that's all available on the website, right?
All available on the website.
Can we get that out there too, Chris? Thank you.
Could you repeat all that, please? I missed a couple things.
Hit rewind.
All right, thank you.
All right, that's all I had. I don't know if anybody else had anything. Mayor, that's my report.
Thank you.
I know it was lengthy, but it was informative.
Very good.
Stadium committee report.
Very good, Larry.
Thank you.
Okay, the stadium committee met in the executive conference room at 4:30 on February 21st. Present was Councilwoman Reardon, Councilman Clement, and myself. Heather Mills and Night Train Vec from the Slammers were also in attendance. The meeting began with an update from Slammers management. They're pleased to announce the hiring of Mike Pinto as manager, who brings a winning pedigree to the team. With the new management in place, they're assembling the 2024 Joliet Slammers team. Opening day is May 10th. Mark your calendars. Brent Frazier introduced the new facilities manager, Brian Klein, and a discussion was held regarding this year's planned maintenance at the stadium. The committee requested a comprehensive report which would contain all the deferred maintenance issues at the stadium. These items will be discussed at the next meeting, and the committee does plan to meet again later this month. And I just want to reiterate that you never know when you have tickets when you might see Bill Murray there. So be sure you have your tickets this year. It should be a very exciting year. Do you have anything to add?
No, thank you.
Do you have anything to add?
I do, a little bit. As the meeting was concluding, Brent Frazier went through a whole laundry list of things that are needed there at the stadium. Concession equipment, audio, video board, the steel needs to be sandblasted and repainted. Let's see, concessions in the left field. I guess the concession stand there, the roof has issues. What I'm getting at is the city of Joliet is allocating through the budget $275,000. So once we went through this whole list, I'm like, $275,000 is a lot of money. But for the stadium, it's really not in the scheme of things. And not to bring up the Rialto, it's a beautiful building, and it provides entertainment, a lot of things to the citizens of Joliet and Will County. But this facility here, the stadium, we give $275,000. I'm not big into budget changes and stuff, but I think the citizens of Joliet, I think the council up here, we need to have the discussion. We've been deferring repairs and all kinds of things for the stadium. And I think we really need to step it up a little bit and contribute a little bit more. There's a lot of things that are going on. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz in the air. And, you know, we own the stadium. I wasn't here when the city purchased it and built it. But we need to take care of what we have. And just for me, I do not believe $275,000 a year is enough to keep this stadium pristine. So that was just kind of in conclusion of the meeting, my thoughts. So,
Thank you.
That concludes my report.
Moving on to consent agenda, approval of the minutes. It's recommended the minutes of the council meeting held on February 20th, 2024 stand approved as recorded. Invoices to be paid. It's recommended this report be approved. Council Memo 103-24, award of contract for the 2024 Public Works Landscape Restoration Program to ASE Align Landscapes in the amount of $57,536. Council Memo 104-24, award of contract for the 2024 Utilities Department Electrical Maintenance to Elliott Electric in the amount of $278,320. Council Memo 105-24, award of contract for the purchase and installation of a new pump monitoring system at the East Side Wastewater Treatment Plant to Xylem Water Solutions USA in the amount of $31,212.70. Council Memo 106-24, award of professional services agreement for the Rosalind Street Culvert Replacement Project to V3 companies in the amount of $80,257. Council Memo 107-24, award of professional engineering services contract for the Phase 3 engineering services for the Theodore Street, Westmere Parkway to River Road roadway widening improvements project to V3 companies in the amount of $371,409. Council Memo 108-24, award of professional services contract for the demolition and stabilization of the Victory Center Gymnasium, 25 North Broadway, to R. Birdie and Sons contractors in the amount of $1,195,590. Council Memo 109-24, request to continue the upfit of interceptor police squads by painting doors at Hawk Auto, branding units at Element Graphics and Design, and purchasing radios from A Beep Communications. Council Memo 110-24, Amendment Number 1 for the Professional Services Agreement assessment of the parking facilities in the downtown area to WGI in an amount not to exceed $10,000. And Council Memo 111-24, change order number 2 for the Lawrence Avenue Lift Station rehabilitation to J.S. Alberico Construction Company, reducing the contract amount by $20,250, and final payment number 5 in the amount of $102,574. It's recommended Council Memos 103-24 through 111-24 be approved. Is there a motion to approve all said consent agenda items?
Move to approve. Second.
Any comments, any thoughts before we go on? Okay.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra?
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.
Motion carried. Under ordinances, Council Memo 113-24, ordinances associated with the redevelopment of 4200 West Jefferson Street. This includes an ordinance approving a special use permit for an indoor storage facility located at 4200 West Jefferson Street, and an ordinance approving a special use permit for truck hire and sales located at 4200 West Jefferson Street. Staff's recommending said ordinances be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? I'd like to make a comment on this. I know this is a tough one for all of us. We've worked hard. We met with Hanson Engineering on several occasions. Very sensitive to the airport. Understand trying to get back the length of the runway. This will not impede that. There was other things that have impeded that probably aren't going to happen. They want to close Airport Road to eliminate that, not only the gas station. So we've worked really hard. We've stalled this project, lowered the capacity, the height. We've done everything we could. And now it's time we make a decision. So those are my comments on this one.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve Council Memo 113-24, ordinances associated with the redevelopment of 4200 West Jefferson Street. Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
No.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried 8-1. Council Memo 114-24, an ordinance amending section 31-75 and section 31-76 of chapter 31 of the City of Joliet Code of Ordinances, utility billing payment plans and leak credits. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? I just want to say how happy I am about this particular ordinance. I have residents that would be disconnected without this ordinance. So I really, really appreciate all the hard work that went into this. I just wanted to put that on the record. Thank you. I appreciate it. Whoever worked on this, my heart's with you, because this is gonna make the difference between water or no water. Thank you very much.
Mayor, for me.
Yes.
Want to echo the sentiments of Councilwoman Ibarra. Mr. Singh, you and I have spoken before, talked about, what the procedure is for folks who want to get, outstanding balances paid and get back on track. We've discussed, sort of your flexibility and the way that you've been able to accommodate them, and said, but I would like to have that on the books. So to see that, codified here, I think is a huge step in the right direction, because as much as I know that you're willing to work with the residents, who knows, who might occupy that seat 10, 20 years from now. So to have that put down here and written and put into the books here, I think is a protection for residents for years to come. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor? My colleagues here have moved me to respond to this too, and I'm in complete agreement. It shows compassion, and sometimes people lose sight of the fact that as fellow residents up here, that's all we are. We're residents that live in this city. We got to show compassion for each other. I got news for people. If somebody can't pay their bills, not everybody's a deadbeat. Sometimes they're going through a hell of a tough time. We really worked bent over backwards to make sure nobody got shut down during COVID. We expanded it and continued to expand it. And it wasn't based on any kind of Einstein policy up here. It was based on compassion. So I agree with both my council members, fellow council members, that this is a good thing to show this compassion and to give people, God, I remember when everybody was getting foreclosed back in 2007, 8. I got so, and I don't care if you got to bleep this or edit, I got so pissed because I'd be driving through my subdivision, other subdivisions, and it's sad to see a family hit on hard times, and then I'd see, Tyco toys, toddler toys in the pile where the stuff had been thrown out in the front yard. And these aren't deadbeats. These are people who, beyond their own control sometimes, have hit a really, really big rut, a hard time. So you guys are both right, and I'm in agreement with you. This is a good move to help those in need here in Joliet. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay.
Been motioned and seconded to approve Council Memo 114-24, an ordinance amending section 31-75 and section 31-76 of chapter 31 of the City of Joliet Code of Ordinances, utility billing, payment plans, and leak credits. Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under resolutions, Council Memo 116-24, a resolution appropriating motor fuel tax funds for the Phase 3 engineering services for the Theodore Street, Westmere Parkway to River Road roadway widening improvements project, in the amount of $371,409. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
It's been motion seconded to approve. Councilwoman Ibarra.
Aye.
Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is the city manager's report.
Thank you, Krista. So I have a couple of months under my belt now. I feel like it's a little bit longer than that, but it's only been a couple of months. And I feel like I'm starting to get my footing, and I just want to thank my staff. There's some really great people that work for us and work in the best interests of our taxpayers and work really hard to bring these items that are on the agenda to you. So just publicly, I want to thank everybody for your hard work and your staff's hard work. I'm really proud to be a part of the team, and I'm really excited about the future. It's bright for us here in Joliet. Thanks.
Thank you.
Next is public comments. Is there anyone that would like to speak under public comments this evening? Next would be Mayor. If you want to speak, you can approach.
Hi, everybody, once again. I stayed today and took off work just so I could speak. I'm gonna start with, everybody know I'm Robin Anderson. My daughter, Raven Littlejohn, found in the building at, on Bluff. And then at home, I've had little traps of bad accident, lost my car. But I was noticing and reading about the Robert Hernandez situation here. And then I come to find out that he was appointed to the Will County Housing Authority, where they found my daughter at. And the crimes of Robert Hernandez, it just like all come back to me. In 2008, I was snatched off the street myself. And I was took to Rockdale. And in my gut, it tells me, it was around the time when the prostitutes that y'all was calling them back then, and the streetwalkers, it was in 2007 and 8, which of course, Joliet police can never solve crimes. But Brenda Boyd, 49, she was in 2006. She was found in a vacant lot of Rockdale. Catherine L. Altman, 43, she was July 14th, 2007, found floating in the Des Plaines River. Sandra Poston, a very good friend of mine, was found in the Des Plaines River in November of 2007. Those crimes were never solved. There were 5 black women, 2 were young, and I even went to the library and looked through all the microfilms to find their names. It was, of course, the Patch or the Herald News, they don't really support this black crime thing. Couldn't find it, but it is a thing. And Robert Hernandez has got a bad history right now. And guess what? All that history that is coming to light right now is the same history he had. We are the same age. All this was happening. It's the harassing of the kids in the park, his taste in what he's doing. So it's something that we need to start solving the unsolved crimes so that we can start solving these crimes, because JPD, they're not gonna solve no crime. They was giving my daughter's killer on a silver platter, found man's bed, butt naked, legs wide open, her shoes, her shirt, her socks, her panties, and her pants. They're all gone. Someone comes in, call 911. They say they're not leaving, and that's a good thing. Someone needs to listen to the 911 call. And they don't solve it. It's solved there. No, I can't get the rape kit tested. And they said it's nothing suspicious about that. That right there, tampering with evidence. Your drug-induced homicide ordinance is, I got it, because I want to tell you, it's your own ordinance, and and it is ordinance. Okay, I got it. I tried to be, cause I came not being angry at y'all no more, cause it ain't y'all. So, and I had to learn to come and talk a little nicer to you people, to you guys, and say, hey, it's a thing. And then to see that y'all, this Robert Hernandez guy and where he's at today, yeah, I need to start looking into people's history. But that ordinance is, and I'm gonna read it just like I got it, it's ordinance 720 ILCS 59-3.3, and I think it's from chapter 38 PAR 9-3.3, and it's section 9-3.3, and it's drug-induced homicide. And no, the police are not handling they call them overdoses, but it's when it's fentanyl involved, it's poisoning. They're not handling those cases. When they come in and find people like that, they just automatically assume, oh, they use drugs, so it's them. But no, these are people that pay taxes also. And they deserve the right of everyone, just because they got caught up in whatever they got caught up in. They deserve the right of everybody else. And I, myself, as a taxpayer, since I was born and raised here, don't live here no more, and I ain't mad at that, but I deserve justice for my daughter. I need for my daughter to rest in peace. And until y'all start solving the cold cases, you're never gonna solve the new cases, because it's the same one. And y'all yourself said the state said that there is a serial killer in Illinois. Look at all the bodies that's been found in Lake Michigan. It's the same people. And I said this a couple of years ago. There is a serial killer here. When you let the first crimes go, they wait a couple of years and they come back, and it's the same thing. Because these women were found floating in this Plains River. Now it became the men. And black people don't jump. So there is something, the police need to do something. Y'all create a cold case crime, something, cold case something. But instead of always looking into some things that it do matter, because we gotta take care of the citizens here and make sure they're safe and everything is good for them. But to make them safe, we have to stop some of this crime. We gotta get it out of here. And I urge you guys, okay, you did do a great job by finally putting Hernandez behind bars, and I don't know why he had access to a police radio. Had access to a police radio, but just think about that. He knew where the police was, when they was, and how they was, and that is a bad guy. And I believe he was the one that snatched me off the street in 2008, and I'm calling him my suspect. And he just needs looking into, and we need to do better. And let's solve some of these old crimes so that we can stop having all this crime. Because Joliet would be a great city. And I had been blaming you guys, but it's not y'all. But just please hear me out, look at me, listen to me, and listen to the 911 call for my daughter, Raven Littlejohn, July 12th. Just do that for me, and you guys have a wonderful day, and thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Anyone else under public comments? Next is mayor and council comments. I believe Caesar.
Are we starting with me? Well, I only have one comment. We have to say happy birthday to a very special person on our, well, kind of on our dais, but Beth Beatty's birthday is this coming Sunday, March 10th.
So is yours.
And we happen to share the same day. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you too.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, I'm up. Well, I just want everyone to know that St. Patrick's Day is coming up, so please be safe. Don't drive. Have a good time. There is a bar crawl coming down downtown Joliet. Does anybody know the date of it? It's like next Friday. It's this Friday. And a pre-St. Patrick's Day celebration. So enjoy yourself, but Uber home or get a designated driver. But everybody have a great time and happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody.
I'd like to congratulate the United Cerebral Palsy There was a number of us there this past Sunday for the great chef tasting party. Jan was heavily involved with some filming there. Susanna was there as well as Cesar Cardenas, and it appeared to be a large success again, and an organization that does a lot of good for people with disabilities. That's it.
My turn. So I wanted to let everybody know this because it was so much fun after the stadium committee. Brent Frazier and the gentleman that works with him, I want to say his name is maybe Craig Miller. Is that him?
Craig
Took
Smith.
me on a tour. They had Chicago Fire had rented out the old train station, and it was really a lot of fun to watch a TV show being filmed. It was kind of like a Hollywood production, and it was very exciting. But that old train station is a great resource and a gem, and they somehow got me to the executive producer. I don't know how that happened, but I was saying, you should come to the city of Joliet more. And he was telling me how much all the staff and crew, actors, top to bottom, loved the city of Joliet and how they could come, park their car and walk everywhere they needed to go downtown. They loved Jitters. They thought it was amazing to go have coffee and breakfast and soups there. They loved the Chicago Street Pub. Is that what it's called? Chicago Street Pub. They just really thought this was such a cute community, and they said they're definitely looking to come back. And when they come back, that's money for the city of Joliet. I also had a tour of HERO. It's Heroin Epidemic Relief Organization, and we thought it was going to be a short half an hour, and I walked away 2 hours later. My head was spinning about all the drugs, how damaging they are. This is opioids, heroin, vaping. It was everything top to bottom. So that's a very important organization in my district, and I was going to talk to Raven Littlejohn's mom, but I think she left, about connecting with them. I also just want to say my mom and dad watch every week, and they're thrilled. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for watching. And then I wanted to say something about comments that were said last night, because my phone was just off the hook, and texts and emails. People are extremely upset from in particular, the southeast side of my district, but every part of my district. We can agree that we're not gonna be a bedroom community, and here's some of the comments that they said. Building more warehouses and being inundated with truck traffic and polluted air has gotten completely out of hand. Is this the best that Joliet can offer? And the residents say we're choking out all different types of economic development that the residents do want, and it's tearing apart this city and decreasing the quality of life. Residents say that any new warehouses can go into Center Point. They have the land, it's contained, and that's why the Hobart Road Bridge was built. Residents want a nice city to live in and want more for young people to look forward to. Joliet will be a wreck if our economic development continues to be primarily focused on warehouses and trucks. If Mokina and Lamont want those, as mentioned last night, so be it. And that's just 2 cents from all the compilation of emails and calls and texts I got regarding that subject. So, thank you.
Thank you.
I miss the old format. I feel like a Sour Patch Kid, sweet and then sour. First you're sweet and then you're sour. I miss when we had new business, not for final action, and then we had comments, which was just fun things. So I got to put 2 things together. First of all, yes, I'm part Irish. There's Patrick and Tierney, so we have St. Pat's Day coming up. But if you've never enjoyed I'm part Italian too. Stengato was my grandfather. A true St. Joseph's Day on March 19th. We all enjoy the St. Pat celebrations. Go to Italian celebration of St. Joe's. You'll love it, trust me. With that said, homeowners in general need to understand there's a bill being presented in Springfield. It's not very far along yet, but it's better to get in front of the curve than it is to wait until it's done. And you know how difficult it is to turn back new laws, no matter how ridiculous they are. This bill is sponsored by a Democrat out of Chicago named Cam Buckner, and it proposes to eliminate single-family only zoning in only 8 cities across Illinois. In 2025, if they pass this in the spring, It would eliminate it in 7 cities, not including Chicago. Chicago gets a reprieve for 1 year for some reason, and it would eliminate single-family zoning in Chicago. What that means is, if you want to live in a, you know, some people want to live in single-family subdivision. Some want to live in duplex and condo subdivision. Some want to be in the large, you know, you see them downtown all the time in Chicago, the large apartment complexes. What this means is you will not have single-family. And if you live in the subdivision with open land, once this is passed, if it were passed, it doesn't have to remain single-family. They can jam 300 apartments down your throat like that. This makes no sense, folks. This is not something just for the council to take care of as your elected representatives and fellow residents. You need to reach out to your state reps and state senators and let them know under no uncertain circumstances should they be taking away our home rule. We know what we want our subdivisions to be like, and we want many different subdivisions. When I was younger, I lived in an apartment, and I lived in an apartment area. When I'm older now with a family, I want to be in a single-family subdivision, and that's what I shopped and came up with. They want to take that right away from us and ban single-family zoning. And it would be retro to any open land in your current single-family subdivision. Again, this bill is, I don't know how deep it's made it to the floor yet. It's House Bill 4795, HB 4795, introduced by Democrat Cam Buckner out of Chicago, I believe. And Joliet's one of 7 cities that would be affected. If you live in any of the other 200 plus cities and villages and towns in Joliet, you still have home rule. You still can give after this bill, should it be passed, you can allow people to decide where they want to put what in their community. Make no mistake, they're taking this away from you as a matter of control in a way to jam huge apartment complexes down your throat in what was originally zoned and should be zoned single family. And you need to get ahead of this curve. Don't wait until it makes it to the floor, makes it through the House, makes it to the Senate, and becomes law, because you'll never get it repealed. Get on the stick, folks. Thank you.
I'll add on to a bit of what was mentioned earlier here with the consideration of growth in the warehouse sector. I think yesterday, Councilman Hug, you mentioned that this growth is being driven by increased freight volume at the intermodal. And for anybody who's watching, if you didn't know already, Joliet is home to the largest inland port in America. It's right here, right in our backyards. And so there's no doubt that shipping, logistics, warehousing is going to be a substantial portion of the growth that the city of Joliet is experiencing. But I think as some of the residents in Councilwoman Ibarra's district have mentioned, it can't be the single driver of growth. I think it would be unwise for any city to rest their growth on any single sector, on any one industry. As the saying goes, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. And so, Councilman Hogg, you're right in saying that this growth is being driven by the increased freight at the intermodal. That they're expected to double their volume, and so I don't think that there's any way around it that we're going to see an increase in warehousing. But I would just ask, are we doing it in such a way that is sustainable in a long term? And are we doing it in a way that fits within a larger sort of economic ecosystem that we are creating? Are we driving growth in other sectors to complement that growth in warehousing? Because it can't be solely warehousing in and of itself. And I recognize that it's inevitable. It's unescapable. We're going to see more warehouses in this area, not just in the city of Joliet. This is a regional issue, and it's something that we need to be discussing with with our state level legislators, with our members of Congress. Much as you mentioned here for this House bill, we urge our residents to reach out to their representatives at different levels of government, not just here at the city of Joliet, because these issues are oftentimes something that we can't entirely manage here at a local level. What makes this difficult is that interstate commerce can only be regulated by Congress. We can't work around that. So I don't know that I have all the answers of how we respond to this increase in growth. But I would simply ask the rest of my colleagues here in the council to take that into consideration that, warehousing it's going to be here. I won't deny that, but it can't be the only driver of growth for the city of Joliet. And so we need to make sure that we're creating a robust system, of, diverse economy, varied job sectors. We can't be nothing but warehouses. We can't, a city is more than just a truck stop. And so, we can go back and forth on this all night. We've had plenty of meetings that have gone hours, much later than we have gone tonight on the subject. So I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but that would just be my ask of all of my colleagues here is to consider how it fits within a broader context. And so that's all from me.
Thank you.
Yeah, we spoke, yesterday about economic development. I believe, yes, the comprehensive plan, Councilwoman Reardon and the mayor spoke about it, and I 100% agree. There has to be a plan. But in the meantime, I feel the city should be knocking on the doors all over this country, trying to get manufacturing, other businesses here. I mean, yeah, the warehouses are here, the trucks are here, the intermodal's here, but I think we can do a better job by knocking on the doors. They're not gonna come here, we need to go to them, right? That's what I feel economic development is. Let's listen to the public, let's, our staff, the mayor, anybody up here, and let's knock on the doors all over this country to get corporations to come here. That's what I believe we need to be doing. Also, I'll just get off topic here. I just want to wish my sister Karen, it's her birthday today. It's my oldest sister. And then Thursday, my sister Barbie, it's her birthday. So I just want to say happy birthday to two of my sisters. And then July 3rd, I'll get around to that, is Kelly's birthday. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to, again, echo, I agree with everything we're talking about with economic development. I think that's a big topic of conversation right now, and I look forward to working with everyone up here to figure out what, that solution, because I think it's something that needs to be a top priority for all of us. Like you said, so we're not just warehouses. And other than that, just happy birthday, Beth, and welcome again, and glad to be part of the team and working with you. And Sherry, happy birthday.
Thank you.
And to my niece, goddaughter, who's also her birthday on March 17th on St. Patrick's Day. Happy birthday to Giselle as well. So.
Thank you. First, I again want to congratulate the Joliet West High School girls for the state championship in bowling. We've got some really, really talented kids in our community. Joliet West football had their best year ever. There's so many neat things going on, and we are a city of champions. We got to remember that all the time. I'm going to talk a little bit about the traffic situation that we're all in. Beth and I, Greg Ruddy, and some of the staff, we continue to meet with a consortium of people to come up with a truck traffic plan. We know that we have to figure out what we're going to look like by 2050. We can't wait until it's too late. So we're very cognizant, very aware of that. Had a meeting with our partners from Centerpoint, and we're meeting with some of the regional mayors and talking about all of us coming up with a plan. And everybody's going to have to pitch in to help come up with this plan. They're all aware of it. We can't continue to do what we're doing and have nothing change. That's definition of insanity. So we are working very hard on that, and everybody is collectively wanting to work with us. I mean, Natalie Manley, Larry Jr., May Koppel, all of our state legislators are working with us. We met with Lauren Underwood. So we do continue to form a way to figure out what we think is going to be the best plan for the trucks. I don't think it's Route 53. I don't think it's Briggs Street. We need to get this message out. We need our citizens to know that they come first. Commerce is important, but it comes second to the quality of life that we have to offer to the folks that live here with us. So that's really a big subject, and it's not something that we do publicly out here much, but we are spending hours on this to come up with something that we know is going to carry us to the future. So we are working hard on that. Some of the cool stuff I think that's happening too, I've met with Night Train. I don't know if everybody has seen the Saint of Second Chances. Mm-hmm. What a cool story. I mean, that tells you what kind of life's coming into this stadium of ours and the characters that are coming with it. So Joliet's in a great place. We're just gonna continue to get better and better. And we appreciate the staff and the residents for all the help we get from everybody. So thank you and happy birthday to you too.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
There is a request for closed session. Is there a motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel, collective bargaining, land acquisition or conveyance pending or threatened litigation, after which the meeting will adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion seconded to approve. Councilman Mudrin.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Aye.
Councilman Cardenas.
Aye.
Councilman Clement.
Aye.
Councilman Guerrero.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilwoman Navarra.
Aye.
Mayor Darcy.
Aye.
Motion carries.